Okay, now the run cycle. So for the run cycle, I will have a different approach, because for run cycles with 4 legs, we don't have the right and the left cycle. You know, when we created those poses that we were mirroring, that will not happen in the run cycle, because it's not like now the first leg and then the left leg. It's not like this, because when it really runs faster, it's more like a parallel movement. They will not be exactly parallel. It's a bit like we talked when we did the jumps and we did one leg delayed in relation to the other. Here will be the same, but for both pair of legs, front legs and back legs. So a good thing to do here, well, we still have the 2 extremes that we have to identify, and that would be the stretch and the compression. So the stretch is also known as unfolding, is when the character is as stretched as possible, so it's long, and then the compression is the opposite, the recoil, the folding moment where the character is all compressed. And these are the 2 extremes, stretch and compression. You can make these 2. I will make an approach more like straight ahead, so I will make one pose and then the other and then the other until I reach the compression. So first extreme, the stretch. We will make the shoulder blades coming forward, all right? The front legs are forward, not stretched, but forward. So we have here our stretch pose, and these front legs are not stretched because he's not reaching the ground yet with the front legs, you know. So we will stretch these legs when we get ready to land on the front with the front legs, but that's not the case. This foot just released the ground, this one is already up, and notice here that I'm giving this delay for one part of the body in relation to the other. What I mean is the right front leg is delayed in relation to the left front leg, right? And the same thing happened here in opposite. The left back leg is delayed in relation to the right leg, see? While the right leg is delayed, is the left back leg that is delayed. So it's the opposite, right? We will add the tail at the end because I feel like it's too many things to call your attention for. So let's focus now on delaying the legs and finding the main poses, and then we add the tail. So the compression, we can add the compression here, but I prefer to explain to you one frame after the other because as I told you, I already prepared all this entire animation, so I know what is needed for each pose. So the following pose, what I will do is bring the head down. I bring my head down, all right? I also bring the ears a bit up, but you don't need to worry about the ears. If you want, just don't draw the ears, right? I think maybe it's better. Don't draw the ears or add it later, I know. So the head is coming down, and as the head is coming down, I will bring the hips up and the shoulders a bit down. As I bring the hips down, as I bring the hips up, I keep the chest here, right? So it creates the illusion that it's coming down. And the legs, well, we know that the left leg it's advanced in relation to the other, so it's ahead of the right leg. So the left leg is stretching to touch the ground. Not yet, but is going into that way. And the right leg, as you can see, it starts to come to this pose. So he's following the left leg. Only looking at the front legs, you notice that the fact that the right leg is being delayed, is being behind, is that is now following the drawings that we had for the other leg. So here this leg is almost in this position. What we are going to do here is creating another frame where we are going to stretch this front leg and bring this right leg into the pose where the left one was. See, so this is my right leg, and my right leg is more or less in the same pose where my left leg was here with 2 frames delayed. And this back leg here is stretched on the ground. and it's touching the ground actually. Keep bringing the head down because the front part of the body is going to touch the ground and hold the weight of the body, right? And yeah, that's what we have. See the front part? Sometimes it's easier to focus in just one part of the body. Yeah, great. So now let's look at the back legs. So the back legs, what they will have to do is start compressing. So they are coming forward while the body will start to compress. Okay, so it's what we are now looking for. So an important thing is to give that flexibility and of the spine and make it like a wave, right? We will want to make this spine to curl a bit. Here we have the left leg delayed in relation to the right. So while this back leg here was just leaving the ground, will now be more or less at the same pose where the right leg was before. So it's the same thing as here in the front, but with less differences. So here we are having a delay of 2 frames because we want to create this movement, this cycle movement, this circle of movement with the front legs. So it's running like this, you know, that's what we want. And since we want to make this circle more visible, we have 2 frames delay. Okay, so look at this pose here, this left leg, we will find in 2 frames later for the right leg. While in the back legs, it's also some kind of circular movement, but not that much because these legs here are not so flexible as the front legs, right? So that's why we have something like this. And then let's compress the body. Once again, this leg is staying behind. This starts to go to the front, and we see here the wave of the spine starting to be more evident, right? That's what we are looking for. Okay. Next pose. We'll have all the weight into this front leg here. And since we want to compress the body, I will also make that with the neck, because the neck is a flexible part. Remember those flexible parts and hard parts? Okay, the neck is flexible, so let's bring the head a bit down while I rotate a bit up because of the compression, and let's stretch that front leg because it will also be touching the ground very soon. So the back leg is here already supporting all the weight, and the right front leg is there on the ground. Okay, all right, and the back legs, they are still coming. What we are going to create here is bringing these legs up while compressing the body. So as the spine squashes, the back legs are coming after. Okay, so there we go. Look at this shoulder here that belongs to this leg here. This is the higher shoulder at this moment, is when this leg is on the ground. And look at the spine. We are really compressing the spine, and you are keep going with it. We are continuing to pull the hips forward, right? This is an important pose. Notice as how much I'm squashing and compressing the spine, and also the wave that you feel. Look at this, only the line of the spine. Pay attention to the line of the spine. It's like a wave. It is compressing and curling, right? And now the legs, the right leg is now on the ground. We have 2 feet on the ground. Look at this back leg is here stretched backwards, and this will be the last moment before it releases the ground, right? And this front leg will follow the back leg again, the left leg, as we told before. And let's bend the back legs and keep bringing them forward. All right, okay, and the head, let's bring it up because we are dragging it a bit. So as that was the other animation, so we bring the head down, down and down, and as it touches the ground here, and here it stays in the same place, but as we stretch this left leg here, we will bring the neck up, right? Because this would be again the part of the body that will go up and it will lead the movement. And the following pose, let's raise this leg up and keep this leg on the ground and keep bringing the legs forward, the back legs forward. So I have my right leg here where my left leg was 2 frames ago, as you can see here. So my left leg was here. Now 2 frames later I have my front leg more or less in the same spot, not exactly in the same spot because this is a fast movement, and if we make exactly the same poses but mirroring it as we did with the 2 previous animations, that will create a bit of conflict while watching, and it's not very pleasant, and that's why it's important to avoid this perfect symmetry. And this is my back front leg that is actually coming behind the back legs, right? And in the between the 2 legs, the 2 back legs, okay? And at this moment here, we just released this foot, and we don't only have 1 foot on the ground. And what will happen? The body is all compressed, and we don't want to lose any velocity. So I like to think in this pose as, okay, let's raise the head to compensate what is happening with the legs. They are all in the top of each other. The chest is like lower, but the head is up. The butt is down, the hips are up and forward. All right, great. And now let's release this front leg from the ground. It will go up, and the back legs will try to go as forward as possible. Let's just keep the head coming up, a bit up, not such a big difference as it was before, right? But let's keep the head coming up. I have here all the legs on the top of each other, as you can see here, and the head is coming up, and these legs here are going forward and starting to stretch to touch the ground, because they will be the next one touching the ground. Now we have this right leg stretched, and then it goes up, and the front left leg is coming forward because it's always in advance related to the right leg. And look at this right leg, back leg. The right back leg starts to stretch as it starts to come to the ground. Following one, we have the head still coming down, the right back leg touches the ground, the other one comes right after, and the front left leg is coming forward, and we release the compression that we had here, because here we really compress the body. Here I already have the tail. I will just delete it and add it later. As you can see here, my compression moment is just about to being released, and it's going to be released right after. There we go. Our body starts to stretch again, as you can see here. So now my head stops going up and starts to come down again, and this front leg comes forward. This one is right after. The right leg is still on the ground, but now, since this left leg is here, is coming after the right leg, we are now going to make that pose that we have here, the stretched leg here. I will have it right now here, because this stretch moment is important to touch the ground. Maybe we can actually make it touch. I'm just stretching it. And our last frame before our loop. What we are looking for is a pose to be here, and what we need is to find it. So if you want, you can just copy this pose here and place it here, if it helps, because we want to create the in between these two. I will just keep the head more or less in the same spot. So here is like there, going a bit to the front, just a bit. You see, I'm just putting it a bit to the front. The front legs, just find the in-betweenings. See, so there it goes. This leg is coming this way, this leg is coming this way, from this to this, and this from this to this. What will happen in the back legs is that we are going to stretch the maximum possible this leg, because we really want it to then be released, and that stretch that we have here we will have there in this leg. And notice that I'm not doing exactly the same pose, but it's very, very similar from one leg to the other, as always. And let's see the final result before the tail, and we will have the tail just after. Okay. Oh, wait. I don't need this last one. Oh, wait, I have something wrong here. So this is one frame, this is another one, this is another one. Oh, I have here one. I'm stretching this leg and I need to put all the weight into this leg. So I need this pose here where I have all my weight in this leg. And I'm bringing the shoulders down and also the head down, all right? So this is the only leg that is on the ground supporting the weight. Okay, now we have our run cycle accurate, and it's just perfect for a sketch. Now let's just add the tail. And here, this is the moment where the body is up, and I will just bring this tail here behind. So I'm raising here the beginning of the tail and leaving the rest of the tail behind. Next moment here, I'm bringing the hips up, so I bring my tail up as well, but I start releasing the end of the tail, all right? So I bring it up as well. Too thick. Yeah, better. All right, next pose here, I start to compress the body, start reversing the tail. Okay, here as you can see, it makes this arc here, and then I start making an arc like this. I keep going with this opposite arc here, but now I start bringing this curve across the tail, so I will make a whip movement, right? So here is the arc, and now I bring the arc longer and start to affect the half of the tail, and even more here, as you can see. So what I'm doing here is giving that whip, and here even the entire tail will be an arc. See? Now let's keep that arc a bit more time, just a bit more, while bringing the end of the tail a bit closer to the body. And I will give it one more because it's still too compressed, and these two poses here, I will not change the tail that much, I will change it after. Alright, now I'm straightening this part here again to make again that whip. Now it's getting, I'm looking now for this S here, so I'll start to create it here a bit. I already get this part a bit like this, and I brought this movement here, I stayed there and make again the arc to give now this S movement here. It's just about to happen here. There we go, a very subtle S here that will come to that one later. So let's just check it. Okay, so that's it. That's our run. As you can see, the run has several different things. All the approach was a bit different, so I hope that this didn't get you too much confused. By the other way around, I hope it simplified the way that you could make a run cycle for a 4-leg creature. Alright, so good work. I wish you all the best for these frame-by-frame animations. I hope that you get excited about the things that you can create, but as you already have noticed, you really need to practice, and if you don't practice every time you try to do something, it can get you a bit frustrated, but it's normal, right? Because you really need to practice. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and good luck.